Someone DM'd me the other day and asked me how they can get hold of their foster care records. And I made a video a year ago explaining how, but I thought I'd quickly remake it. I have got new followers since, and I've had people DM me before saying they had no idea they could even get their records, that they were allowed to. So I'll quickly explain for those that don't know. You have to be over the age of 18 or 18. Even if you were in care 30 years ago, there should still be records. They won't be as in-depth or as good as, I think social services are a lot better at keeping records now and making them more in-depth. Even if you were in foster care like 30, 40 years ago, there should still be information on you. So it's worth doing this, even if you think, oh, well, I was in care so long ago, should still be records there. If you currently have a PA or a social worker, you can speak to them about this. If you no longer have a social worker or a PA, speak to the local authority that looked after you. It's called a subject access request. And you can do this for everything. You can do this for police records. You can do this for medical records. We're talking about foster care ones. So I got my records when I was 24, I think. Every authority will be different. But for me, I had to fill out a form. They asked me what dates I wanted or what specific information about my time in care that I wanted. And I just said all of it. Everything you have, I want it all. They asked me to get my mum to sign a form giving permission for me to have my records, which I don't know why, because obviously I'm an adult now, I don't need her permission. But then they told me, when I asked them why, they said, oh, it's because there might be information about your mum in there. And I mean, there was a bit, but nothing major. And I think that's really unfair to ask, because a lot of children in care, like, I have a very complicated relationship with my mum, but I do still have one, whereas there's a lot of children who won't. So if they ask you for that, just say you can't. They don't have to include the information about your parents if they can't get this signature. I'm not quite sure what that was about. They also asked me for ID, so they just wanted a copy of my passport or your driving license, just to prove who you are, I guess. They will tell you on these subject access form websites, it says that you should get your records within, I think it's 40 something days. I haven't checked in a while, but I remember it being 40 something when I got my records. Yeah, you won't. It took 11 months for them to get me my records. And when they first agreed to let me see my records, they initially were like, if you want to view them, come down to our offices. Come down to our offices and we will have a social worker or a member of staff sit with you so you can read them. At the time, I was working a 9-to-5 job, so the thought of having to take time off work to view my own records in a room with somebody else there, and as well, because I knew how long I'd been in care and how much shit happened while I was in care, I knew these weren't the type of documents that could be read in a day. I knew no member of staff was going to sit there with me all day. So I really argued against that, saying, no, I want my records at home. In the end, I had to go to the local government ombudsman to get them to push for me to have my records at home. But it should have never have got to that. Do not let them tell you that you have to view it with them. You legally don't. You can have them at your own house. So if any of them try that, no, don't accept it. Say, no, I'm having them at home. You can get them either electronically or in paper. I got mine on paper just because I wanted to be able to go through them properly and highlight stuff. They gave them to me all in the wrong order. So the top page would be from 2012, and then the second page would be 2009, and then 2007, and then 2014. It was a joke. Hopefully if you do it electronically, it will all be in the right order, but who knows? I also felt like a lot of documents were missing. There was barely anything for 2012, but 2012 was such a big year for me in foster care. And when I asked for 2012, I had to go through the whole process again of the form, of the ID. I didn't do the signature from my mum. I was like, she's not going to sign that and you don't need to. We don't need to get that. And then I finally got them. So be prepared for that. But it is a subject access request. Like I said, different authorities do different things. I know some don't make you fill out a form. They just want written confirmation that this is what you want, and you can just put it in an email. And yeah, I think that's the quickest way I can explain. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Like I said, I have got my records. I've read them all. So yeah, that was my ring. Probably will make a part 2 on what helped me read them, because it is an emotional process. It is a lot. And it doesn't, honestly, I know of people who they didn't actually spend that long in foster care, but the records were insane, like the amount. And I mean, mine are definitely, I think mine's like 4,000 pages. Remember, I got it in paper, like 4,000 pages. But yeah, for now, I hope that was helpful on how to get your records.